Can we all admit that the quarterback class for the 2026 NFL Draft has been extremely disappointing? It feels like every single top QB prospect in the preseason has hurt their draft stock up to this point in the 2025 college football season. Arch Manning is unlikely to declare and has shocked the world with how much he's struggled. LaNorris Sellers has all the physical tools, but a concussion and inconsistent play have scared some scouts off. Even Garrett Nussmeier, the seemingly poised and intelligent prospect, has struggled to get LSU's offense going due to the lack of top-tier supporting cast and subpar arm talent. All of these QBs struggling across the country has left a vacuum at the top of the 2026 NFL Draft for a different quarterback to take up the QB1 throne. And through 5 weeks, Oregon Ducks redshirt sophomore Dante Moore has seemingly taken over that number 1 spot. After dominating weaker opponents, Moore had all eyes on him heading into Happy Valley in one of the most hostile environments in the sport, leading the Ducks in a battle against number 3 Penn State. Despite a late surge from the Nittany Lions, Moore helped lead Oregon to an overtime victory, completing 29 of 39 passes for 248 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions while adding another 35 yards on the ground. All of the noise, the whiteout atmosphere, the crowd screaming along to Mo Bamba, none of this seemed to even faze Moore, who showed very little panic throughout the game. That has seemingly been Moore's MO all year, and the stats are really starting to show that as well. Through 5 games, Moore has completed 74.6% of his passes while averaging 9 yards per pass attempt, with 14 touchdowns and just 1 interception. According to Game on Paper, Moore ranks top 10 in the country in both EPA per dropback at 0.43 and passing success rate, generating a successful play on 54.2% of his dropbacks. One of the biggest reasons for that success is Moore's composure.
We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
Even when under duress, Moore has shown little panic, being sacked just once despite being pressured 32 times. His pressure to sack ratio of 3.1% is second in the country, only behind Cincinnati's Brennan Sorsby. Sending extra rushers to try and speed up Moore's process doesn't seem to be working either. In fact, according to Pro Football Focus, Moore's pass rating actually goes up when blitzed, completing 25 of 35 passes for 339 yards and 4 touchdowns with 0 interceptions when facing extra rushers. There's still some huge games on the horizon, but so far it seems like Moore's superpower is this absolutely unflappable presence. So let's dive into the film from Saturday's double overtime win against Penn State to give you a better feel of what makes him this calm, cool, collected, cold-blooded killer in today's episode of Best Available. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel on YouTube, follow us on socials at BestAvailableYT, and consider becoming a Film Junkies member. For $2.99 a month, you get access to extra plays weekly, full access to my NFL Draft Big Board, where I am constantly updating my notes, grades, rankings, all of that. You'll get a really good inside look at how a Big Board is built throughout the season in real time, and some other added benefits along the way. So consider becoming a member, but with that, why don't we go ahead and dive into Dante Moore's film? It took Oregon's offense a bit to get going in this game, but even early on, you can see just how calm and collected Moore is at trying to keep the offense moving, staying in front of the sticks, all of that good stuff. And I think this is a good example of that. We're going to have this under center play action rollout. And with that rollout, I want you to pay attention to Deni Dennis Sutton. This is a former 5-star recruit. He is potentially one of the top edges in this class, just a real physical force of nature. So we're rolling out left, that is across our body right with a right-handed quarterback, and Deni Dennis Sutton is attacking him straight on. This is not an easy throw. Moore's got to flip his hips. He jumps in the air, and maybe it's not the most perfect pass in the world, but that's a hell of an effort to get that ball out. And then, of course, we get Kenyon Sadiq, who will easily be the number 1 tight end in this draft class with a little hurdle at the end. I could do a whole video on him. I probably will at some point this season, but I really just wanted to point out this impressive, almost jump pass. Too many guys in this context, especially rolling out away from their arm, like again, rolling left as a right-handed QB, you're not going to be able to complete this pass. But just impressive improvisational skills to get that out. And then, it's a productive, successful play. Now, Moore is not this true dual threat, consistent quarterback that's going to always be a threat with his legs, but he certainly has enough athletic ability to be utilized in some run game or scramble or extend plays with his legs. Something important here I want to show. So this is a clearly blown up QB design draw. You'll see the linemen and everyone starts trying to operate second level. Tells me this is a design draw play. But this Penn State defender creates immediate pressure, so this is all just kind of blown up immediately. That wiggle to avoid that, to get low around the edge to make that play, and then the slide. And we'll talk about the slide in a second. But again, just want to emphasize again here, this is blown up. This twist stunt messes everything up. This guy's getting free. Moore's instincts to duck around that. He gets low, and then the slide. I want to point out the slide because it's an extremely important part of playing quarterback if you're going to run a lot. You got to have good slide technique. And why I say that, there's too many guys that are mobile that can't slide and end up trying to, dive head first or, don't slide at all and don't give up themselves and can really punish themselves for it. Having that slide technique, this is a really wild thing to be talking about in a quarterback video. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're not an elite mobile QB, having that instincts to when to slide is going to save you for the rest of the game. Because if you get knocked up a little bit, it's going to be a lot harder to just pass when you're sore and bruised all over your body. So I think that slide is important. And it's just another part of him being an effective and efficient runner, even if he's not a game-changing, game-breaking type of dual threat quarterback. The other part I appreciate about Moore's game is that there's not a lot of panic as far as when he's scrambling. He's not feeling pressure and then immediately ducking, right? He will go through his reads. So he's scanning the field, nothing's there. I'm turning, there's pressure coming outside. So I'm going to, step up into space. And I'm going to use that and just, still nothing. Then I'm going to take off. Never do the spin move. Do not ever do this spin move at any level of football as a quarterback. If you watched Sunday Night Football last week, Packers-Cowboys, Matthew Golden tried doing that as a punt returner and got hit like a Looney Tunes character. That worries me as a quarterback trying to hit that spin move. I mean, 3 guys are closing on him. I don't know what he thinks he's going to accomplish. Maybe he gets another yard. I just need to reemphasize. I do not advise this. But again, I appreciate read, nothing. It's not there. There's pressure coming outside. I'm going to step into space. Still eyes are downfield. Want to see that. I don't want him just dropping his eyes looking to run. So I appreciate that. Spin move's horrible. You're getting corralled. You're not going to make all 3 of these guys miss with your spin move. Just go down, dude. Don't scare me like this. It's funny. I really think one of Moore's best throws of the day was an incompletion here. And I'll explain why. We have this fake spinner play action. So we're going to fake this handoff here. And you're going to notice Moore turns his back to the defense. The reason this is so hard for college quarterbacks, honestly, quarterbacks at any level, is when your back's turned, by the time you turn back, the defense looks completely different than it did, right? So you have to completely spin. These 2 defenders were over here earlier, right? So suddenly he has to reprocess all of this information going on at the second level and in the back end in real time as his routes are developing. And all this pressure is getting to him. You see, this pocket is collapsing. We've got push here. We've got push here. We've got a guy beaten, so Moore could get sacked here. We've got this free rusher. There's a lot that's not going well here. This pocket is collapsing. He is staying composed. He is processing all the information after he turned his back, and he's delivering that throw just over this defender, and he delivers it into the hands of his wide receiver. Now, unfortunate, it's a drop, but everything about this play and the process is why I really think he has a chance to be the number 1 quarterback taken. Is just, this is kind of composure when everything is, muddy, not pretty. And again, we keep talking about it. So many quarterbacks in college, especially, are going to panic when all this pressure's on them in front of a loud whiteout crowd. But again, just so much has changed from the time he turns his back to getting back here, processing all that information. And then this throw over this defender, I am impressed with. Just layering that ball over right in the hands. Could have been a great completion if the wide receiver haul is on. But again, this might have been my favorite throw just because of the difficulty of it and the ability to layer it, all of that. Even if it's an incompletion, I just think the process was very, very impressive from Moore. This is just a really quick speed out, but the reason I liked it and wanted to highlight is just how calm Moore's feet are here. On these like one-step throws, I see so many quarterbacks that just the mechanics go out the window and they rely completely on their arm talent to make a play. But here on this drop, I just love hips are aligned with where he's going, feet wide base. He's got toes, cleats in the dirt. He has a clean throwing platform. Like this is thrown like an NFL quarterback should, and it zips to DeCorian Moore in stride. And again, it's a 9-yard gain. It goes from I think 1st and 10 to 2nd and 1. And you're like, what's the big deal? It's just if you watch enough college football, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So many of these guys on these 0-1 step drops just really like lazy. They just try and use like a baseball throw or something like that. I just appreciate on such a quick throw like this, Moore is just setting up footwork clean, not back shouldering, not fading away on it. All the mechanics are really clean here for a really accurate strike. Let's just show it one more time. Just clean in stride. It's just an easy pitch and catch. I'm going to show both angles of this play because it's a pretty crucial one in the game. 4th and 1, everyone's assuming that Oregon's going to, just run the ball here. We've got a play fake. You can see how all of the defenders creep in on that. And then suddenly we have one-on-one, no safety help with these two receivers, right? So we're going to have crossers here. And that wide open throw. Throw looks like an easy pitch and catch. I think it's more impressive when we get to the end zone angle. So we're running that play fake. All the defenders are getting sucked in here. Number 6 reacts, and I want you to understand the timing here. Moore's got to get this out. We talked about those deep crossers coming across the formation, right? Moore can't hesitate because this defender reads it. He's a little late, but he reads it in time, and he's dropping into the throwing window. So Moore's got to get that out just in time over that defender and layer that in. So it looks more open on that sideline cam. A little trickier of a throw from the end zone, and Moore really needs to get that ball out ASAP. Just one more time. Again, staying composed on 4th and 1, easy pitch and catch, throws with good timing and anticipation, all of that. Again, a 4th and 1, is this a guy that looks panicked to you taking his shot play? No. It's another reason why he's just so unflappable. I feel like maybe we haven't done a good enough job talking about Moore's arm talent. Maybe it's because it's not elite like Josh Allen level or anything like that, but man, he can still make plays with his arm. And this is a good example of that. So we're going to have, a drop back, pressure's a mess on the right side. Moore's going to have to roll out. He escapes these defenders. We always talk about, it's like one of the simplest things you hear about on a broadcast is a quarterback should not throw across his body, right? Super inadvisable. It gives so many different guys opportunities to jump from, the same side, across the field, from underneath. There's just too many angles at which a defender can jump that pass. But hey, man, sometimes you got to make a play, especially on 3rd down, and Moore's, keeping this alive. Ridiculous to get this ball off from this angle. And it goes right to an open Kenyon Sadiq, again, who's just been a safety blanket in this Oregon offense. But man, it's just the ability to do that off script. This guy has no business. He is in clear trouble here. He's got 2 defenders, trying to corral him. This is a good angle by this guy to make sure that Moore can't escape upfield. And yet, here we are. Ridiculous throw. Fully in the air. I think by the time that ball gets out, it's an impressive off-script throw that really highlights that, yes, this guy still does have legitimate arm talent to make plays like this one, even if it's inadvisable most times. Another big moment late in this game. It is 3rd and 10. We've got the exit motion. So you see Moore. He's looking at his first read. Not there. He's moving to his second read. Not there. In fact, everything's pretty covered up, right? Flat's not going to do anything on 3rd and 10. We've got a guy in the hip pocket here. Hip pocket here. Hip pocket. Great coverage by Penn State here on 3rd down. Apologies, it's not 3rd and 10. We can see right here. It's 3rd and 5-ish, but nothing's there. I got to roll out. DeCorian Moore, great job by recognizing scramble drills. This is a true freshman wide receiver, by the way. This kid will be easy 1st-round pick in my eyes. He is just a phenomenal athlete, but the recognition to go off script here and then just throw that on the money. And let's get to the end zone angle of it too. So watch Moore's process here, right? Nothing there. Feeling the pressure. Escape. Eyes downfield. Ridiculous throw on the move. He has that legitimate accuracy when he's throwing on the move to really place it where he wants. to make really impressive plays like this, even when they're off script. But his receivers deserve credit. His playmakers, whether it is Sadiq the tight end, Moore, this freshman, they've got weapons all across the field. And these kids with Moore have a real chemistry that's making this a really fun offense. I know I screwed up last play. This is 3rd and 10 from my notes. And this is just a situation where, again, you got to make a play late in the game. We need something to happen, and we're going to see that happen right here. Again, going through a read, staying patient. Nothing's there. Here's the problem. We're escaping. There is a QB spy on him, right? The entire purpose of this defender on this play is do not let Moore escape the pocket and make a play. But Moore plants his foot in the dirt and cuts upfield, has the contact balance to shake this guy off. And this is one of those situations late game. He's not going to slide. He is going to try and push it to get that first down. Now, I think he ends up 1 yard short, but it gets them in a much more manageable situation, and Oregon does end up scoring on this drive. We'll show that scramble one more time. So again, spy right here watching Moore, has no business not losing him, plants foot in the dirt, contact balance, lower the shoulder, get what you can. That's a heads up play from a guy. Again, a guy not with he doesn't have elite play speed or anything like that, but he has enough. He can be a threat. All right. We're in overtime now, and Moore had some crazy plays here. One I did not have in my notes, I did not show, was his little shovel pass. I think in the first overtime, maybe it was the second, lost track of it. But he literally bobbled the snap before getting the shovel off and just showed no hesitation. This is another example of that. We're going to have this quick now screen on this side, and then we're going to have kind of a clear out concept. But usually on these screens, there's no purpose for this, right? Because we're getting that ball out so quickly. This is merely eye candy for the backside secondary. And you can see the O-line's playing for the screen, right? So we're throwing this. All of these guys are going into space. We have 2 guys in pass protection on the backside. So none of this should be open. You can see Moore bobbles the throw, has to go backside, and it's a heads-up play. It's clutch as hell in overtime to not panic on that bobble and find the backside read. I can't imagine how many times you even practiced the backside read on this throw. I mean, the whole game they were throwing these, it's a staple of Oregon's offense, is these now screens. So just, you can watch, if you watch Moore, pay attention, he tries to pump fake and loses the ball, but then doesn't panic, rolls out right and hits the slant. That's just impressive. Again, it's another example of that composure. So many quarterbacks would panic in this situation, but he understands what the backside concept is, rolls out and hits a strike. Still overtime here, and we're going to have this additional rush, right? We've got a blitz coming from depth here, and Moore's got to be able to feel that. I don't think he's looking that way, but I think his internal clock sped up because once he speeds, he sees 1, 2, 3 rushers and 2 linemen, right? So he's understanding hey, I got to speed this process up now. Someone's going to get free, which they are right here. And then just his composure to just throw it over the free rusher. Watch this again. As these rushers come in, he's going to have a free rusher, and he throws it around that free rusher. Right there. This guy could deflect this. He's just so fast with it. Feels that pressure as soon as he gets to his read. Hits that receiver in stride. Again, in overtime as a redshirt sophomore quarterback. This is next level composure. This ends up being the play of the game. This is the eventual game-winning touchdown for Oregon. Dylan Thieneman on the ensuing possession gets an interception on the first play. Game over, Ducks win. This is what I'm impressed by. Again, very first play we talked about this. Denied Dennis Sutton. Moore rolling out to his left, throws a ball. Denied Dennis Sutton now, rolling out to his right. Free rush on Moore. Ducks under that, keeps his eyes downfield, finds the open receiver, who takes off after the catch, and it is a touchdown. So many guys would wilt under this kind of pressure in double overtime against a 5-star edge rusher who's coming down, barreling down on him, and he ducks under it and keeps his eyes downfield and delivers that strike on the chest. That is just impressive. I mean, I keep saying impressive. It's so rare to see a kid with, he struggled so much at UCLA. It was a mess over there. He transfers to Oregon. There's just not a lot that was going right in his college career, and finally gets this opportunity. And boy, does he shine in such a big, massive game in a hostile environment, and keeps stepping up when the Ducks needed him. It is so rare when you scout players to find a guy who is actually clutch, and you can feel it when you're watching the broadcast, when you're watching the film. I think Moore is the definition of clutch. This might be the most clutch quarterback I've watched in a few years, because there's very rarely these guys that I feel like their heart rate's never elevating under pressure. So I'm very impressed. He's my QB1 right now. I'm just going to say that right now. It was Garrett Nussmeier, but the arm talent's really turning me off with how ugly it's been looking lately. I'm still fascinated by LaNorris Sellers, but I can't do it to myself again after falling in love with Anthony Richardson. So, these things will change in the coming months, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what other college prospects you think I should watch in the coming weeks, especially with these bigger matchups in the coming weeks. And I'll be back on Monday with some NFL content. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week.